Hello everybody and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program, where this is take 2. I went into the vehicle assembly building and the game crashed on me. So that was exciting. Hopefully that doesn't happen again. We're good. Okay, fantastic. So, last episode we did a simulated launch of the fuel tanker, and then we pretty much promptly remembered that turns out things need solar panels on them. So we've put solar panels on, as well as some RCS. So hopefully we'll be able to actually launch this thing this time. Is this one a simulated launch? I feel like it kind of isn't. If it goes wrong, I think it just goes wrong. We had our one simulated launch. Things went well, except for the fact that we didn't have the Gigantors on here, and now that's been solved. I just want to double check that everything is good to go. Double check our staging. Yep, this all looks good. Should never, ever decouple this. And that should be disabled. Okay. No RCS. We're just going to lift this off, and we're going to go a little bit less, or rather a little bit more aggressive with our ascent profile this time, because we were going awful high last time, and I'm not necessarily okay with this. So, off we go. Once we hit an apoapsis this time of 5 kilometers, we will begin pitching, rather than the 10 that I did previously, I think. That's 1. That's 2. 3, 4, 5. Let's start getting some horizontal speed. We're going to be approaching max Q pretty soon, so as we approach that, we are going to need to stop our pitching. We are going through max Q right now. We are through. We will resume pitching. Just want to head over a little bit. This is a little wiggly. No, don't wiggle back. You are good. You are good where you are at. Let's just hold right over here. There we go. And we're going to hold here for now. Actually, we should be heading over towards the horizon currently. There we go. Let's get that sweet, sweet horizontal speed. Detach off our SRBs. And hopefully this wiggle dies down. SAS, please stop. In fact, I'm just going to shut that completely off, and we'll wiggle our way through the atmosphere, I guess. SAS, work your way over towards prograde, because we are going to need to add a maneuver right here, and it's just simply going to be something along the lines of this. That's definitely a more fuel-efficient ascent. Actually, we're going to want to be working our way towards the maneuver node. It looks like we have managed to stop the wiggle, which is always a good thing. And over we go. So this is a burn time of 4 minutes and 1 second, but now that we're out of the atmosphere, it's actually a burn time of almost exactly 2 minutes. So I'm going to start this burn at T-1, or rather, yeah, T-1 minute. Technically, T-minus, like, 59.5 seconds is when we want to do this. Now. And I'm hoping that this wiggle will become less pronounced once this stage detaches. Because this is a problem, actually. This is definitely a problem. I'm just disabling our gimbaling. Okay, that solved it. Fantastic. No more gimbaling there. Hopefully that won't be an endemic issue with this design, but I'm afraid with this it might be. Realistically, I probably should move this up here if we're going to send up another tanker, which we almost certainly will. So we are currently only about 7 seconds away from the apoapsis. We still need to accelerate a fair amount more. Yeah, we need to address this situation here for sure for future flights, but this will be okay for this one. It's going to roll us over there. Excellent. And we will be entering orbit momentarily. And we're still going to have this stage for a little while yet. So that's okay. We can use some of that for our inclination. Okay, this is good enough. So let's go ahead and set Minmus as our target, of course. Which Minmus is out here. Set that as our target. And this is our ascending node here, 6.3 degrees. Okay, we want to be heading anti-normal. And I'm just using this as a marker for when we want to perform this burn, right about there. So we're going to be ignoring this numerical value. Let's go ahead and get these solar panels extended before I forget. Fantastic. We'll have plenty of electric charge. And we're just rotating over to anti-normal. We'll physics warp as we get to that orientation. And there we go. We will now regular warp over to this maneuver. So I don't know exactly how long this burn is going to be, but I do know when we're going to burn this. Which is going to be at about T-minus 10 seconds. So right about now. Okay. We're now done with that stage. So we stage that. We're about 1 degree off right now. Half a degree. That's about as close as we're going to get right now. We could get it closer, but I don't think it's worth the fuel. So, we have quite a lot of fuel remaining. This up here, of course, is completely empty. And this fuel is not. Our exploration upper stage should be sufficient to get us there. But this is our pusher stage here that we will never detach, and this tank will fill first. So where are we in our orbit? We're there, Minmus is there. We're probably going to want to burn sometime around here-ish. That is way more than we need to burn. Okay, if we do something kind of along the lines of this, but we burn it slightly later. Yes. This is an acceptable encounter. That'll be fine. We can get there no problem. We're going to do our standard retrograde rendezvous over Minmus. That's just a nice, easy way to guarantee that we get an encounter over Minmus. And of course, that is not at all how we're going to have to do it over Kerbal, because that's just too much Delta V. But over Minmus, no problem. Okay, so this node is going to be about a burn time of 3 minutes and 7 seconds. So 1.5 plus 3.5 seconds, 1.5 minutes, a minute and a half. So at T minus 1 minute, 33 and a half seconds, and we'll warp to that next maneuver. Okay, we'll physics warp as we get oriented. There we go. And now we'll regular warp towards 1 minute, 33 and a half seconds. So right about now. And off we go. Minmus, here we come. We are, of course, going to have to change our inclination pretty dramatically, but that's okay. That's easy enough to do over Minmus anyway. Of course, we don't have a polar orbit over the sun, so that will make things much easier with the solar gateway. I'm a little bit concerned about timings for launching to the solar gateway. Like, our launch windows are going to have to be a lot more precise than what we're doing right now. That said, all we have to do is get relatively close. Then we can burn a little bit extra delta V. Our thrust to weight in this stage is not great. But that's okay. This stage was never intended to be used long term. Just to get us to our destination. And then we'll probably drain it of any remaining fuel and decouple it pretty much immediately upon docking. Unless we use it all up before then, which is theoretically possible, but unlikely. I think we'll have a little bit left. But this stage here, we probably could have sent... Actually, we definitely could have sent this up empty. But I also wanted to actually have some fuel to resupply the station with, since we don't need to generate all of our fuel. So where is our current apoapsis? Well, it's not very high up right now, but that's okay. It will, of course, increase exponentially. But yeah, our thrust to weight on this exploration stage, not great at all. But it doesn't have to be. The really problematic part, of course, is that this poodle here is actually going to have an even worse thrust to weight when these are full. This thrust to weight is going to be very, very, very slow. We do have our RCS here. That's also going to be very slow. I still wish that we could restrict RCS to not be used by SAS the way we can with reaction wheels. Like, the reaction wheels, you can have them be SAS only, pilot only, and normal. I wish you could do the same thing with RCS thruster blocks. I mean, maybe you can by disabling this RCS? I don't know. Regardless, we're almost done with this burn. We'll test that, actually, once we get out here. Okay. We're not quite where we need to be. That'll do. We'll save the extra 0.2 dV. Now, over here at the Minmus periapsis, we will go ahead and slow this down enough. There we go. Something kind of like this. Just encapsulate this a little bit, and then we will, of course, go for our inclination change later on. But this will be fine for now. So, this is about 7 days away. We're still plenty far away on our long-term missions, so we will warp to this maneuver. Now, I do want to check something, and that is specifically, I want to check that this is a thing. Oh, hello. We're still getting science points from the Minmus surface, which is nice to see. I want to turn off the RCS on all of these. You're running away from me right now. There we go. A few more of these to go. No, I want to select this guy. There we go. Fantastic. And actually, I think we want it to be RCS disabled. I hear that RCS being used. Okay. And yeah, with this toggled off, the RCS is not functional. Well, we're going to need to burn this at T minus 17 seconds, which is now. So this will slow us down enough to be captured by Minmus's super weak gravity. Something along the lines of... this. We'll save that extra 0.2 meters per second. You never know, it might come in handy. Okay, now we're going to need to change our inclination. Just lining us up here. Trying to get this up a little higher. Let me just adjust my DPI, actually. Make this a little bit more sensitive. There we go. What about here? Oh, actually, we can just use the ascending and descending node. Of course. So, right here at the ascending node, because we're further away from the descending node, we are going to want to burn which direction? Well, we're going to want to burn so that we're going retrograde. We're currently going this way, so we want to take this side to be our up side. Like this. Okay. Yes. So we want to be heading towards negative 180. So this is going to be a normal burn. And we are, of course, going to also have to do a retrograde burn after we're done with this. But that's okay. We'll just get oriented there, and we'll warp to this maneuver. That is about 8 days away. And we can begin this burn at basically any time, realistically. Once we get over here, basically anything is close enough. So we will just begin to burn this direction, and we will also get rid of this. So we want to have our ascending node be 180 degrees. Just slow this down a little bit so that we can catch up. Okay, that should be good. And now we are going to burn retrograde. We're basically at the periapsis right now. I mean, that's 19 minutes away, but it's close enough. And we can just do something like this. That's 179.7, which is honestly close enough. So as we come in here, we can see just how close we're going to get in terms of an intercept. And this is why going retrograde is good. Are we going retrograde? I feel like we're going prograde. Hang on a moment. Yeah, this is... 180 degrees is our ascending node. Should that not be... This is going this way. We're coming in... this way. Yeah, we are going retrograde. Okay, this is fine. So, we will then have to just intercept somewhere a little bit different. I'm going to push out our periapsis slightly. I've overshot it a little bit. It's just that our timing isn't perfect to meet it up over here. which is fine. So we'll do something like this, and then at the periapsis, which is 3 days away, we will add a quick retrograde maneuver to bring it in something like this, and this actually gets us a decent intercept right here. Let's see if we can get that super close. 0.8 kilometers, 0.5, 0.4. This is the closest we get. That is perfectly fine. 33 meters per second. Okay. Let's warp to that. And of course, we are going to have to check in on our long-term missions after this because we have warped a few days. But that's fine. This is a 5-second burn, so we want to burn this at T minus 2.5 seconds. We'll just warp towards that a little bit. So, right about now. That should do. 4.1 kilometers. If we burn prograde, would that get us closer or further? We'll find out. Because, I mean, we are a little bit off here. I mean, this isn't a huge difference. We can deal with this. And a lot of it is because we're a little bit off on our inclination, but that's fine. I mean, realistically, this is close enough, but yeah, that's better. That's way better. Okay, so we'll be about 500 meters out. We'll go ahead and warp ahead a few minutes. And there is the ice cream maker. So we will want to switch to target retrograde and match speeds with it. We'll want to do that as we approach here. Probably when we're down to something along the lines of 4 kilometers away. 3 was a little bit of an overshoot. So we'll try at about 4 kilometers away. So we'll warp forward a little bit further to about here. And burn now. We're about 2 kilometers away, and we are about halfway through this burn. Yeah. This seems to be about right. And we'll just slowly burn off this last little bit of speed. This is close enough. Okay, so we will now extend our airlock and control from here. And let's hop over here. Where do we want to attach this? Probably this one. So we'll open that airlock. And where is our friend at? I think we're a little bit too far away. Oh, no, we're right here. So can we see this? No, we're going to need to get a little bit closer. So we will point to target. And I'll physics warp this turn. There we go. And let's just burn towards this target a tiny amount, up to something like 5 meters per second, or thereabouts. I'm going to do 3 meters per second. RCS is now on. And we will begin our RCS break once we get a little bit closer in, and then we'll orient and dock in. We should be able to get this docking procedure done this episode, which I would like to see. So we are about 500 meters out. I'm just going to warp forward a little bit as we advance to about 300 meters out. Something along the lines of this. Technically, we want to be at target prograde. Hang on, target prograde. Let's get right on back there. Okay. And we're going to have to actually turn all these back on. Please, stop. Like, no, seriously, please stop. Okay, we're just going to start braking a bit. And now we'll advance in a little bit more until we're about 100 meters out. Once we're about 100 meters out, then we can begin the final docking sequence. Okay. I want to be essentially... SAS, please stop. I want to do something kind of like that, and then we're going to point towards target. Okay, SAS off. There we go. That's good enough. RCS off, please. Okay, now we need to switch over to here, and we can see the inflatable airlock is our target, so we want to point towards target. We already have our selected airlock over here, so we will just rotate on over. And I'm going to physics warp as we do that. Please note, this is not how the ISS works. And I'm well aware of this. Okay, please stabilize. Please stabilize. I want you to point at target. Okay, I think that's good enough. Now we will swap over, and specifically, I want this airlock set as our target. We will point at target. There we go. We're now oriented. SAS off, RCS on. And we'll just move in at 0.5 meter per second for now. And our prograde is slightly off. I'm just going to adjust that and point at target. Excellent. There we go. We'll swap over, make sure that we're pointed at target. We appear to be. Okay. Gonna warp forward a tiny amount here until we are about 30 meters away. This is good. Point at target. Station. Point at target. Are we looking for the autonomous docking? I think this is looking good. It's a little dark here, so it's maybe a little hard to tell. But I don't think that we're going to miss. Point at target. Point at target. Just made a couple of small adjustments as we were coming in. And there we go. Perfection. So I do want to transfer out any remaining fuel over here. So we will go ahead and pin these open. And this fuel is going to go into this tank. There we go. Exploration stage is done with. So we will simply decouple that on off. Excellent. And with that, this station is actually almost complete. I do need to check in on the progress of the mining probe, but this is a good start over here. For now, though, you can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and I will see you all next time.